that's a tough one without Salah. With Salah, it's still a hard one. Without Salah, that's a tough one. The biggest shock of this knockouts is Ivory Coast beating Senegal. The path for Nigeria to the final, I think, is going to be hard because I think, first of all, Cameroon is going to be difficult. So it gets real. It gets real, man. Guys, we're here. The knockout stage, man. Because this is what I would say about tournaments, and I think you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to say it again because I'm going to say it again. The group stage is like fun. Group stage is fun where, you can just say what's up, have a few laughs. The tournament really starts in the quarters. You see, things get serious on the knockouts. Things get really serious in the quarters because group stage, okay, you have guys who qualified, but there's still guys who are okay, you're not really quite up to the elites. Now, when it comes to the knockout stage, everybody who makes it to the quarters, you've had to pretty much beat a pretty big dog. So by the time you get into the quarters, we are now dealing with truly battle-tested individuals who've already come through the first round of knockouts where there's high jeopardy. Because in the group stage, you can lose one game, but then you've got two other games to say what's up. This is where you lose, you're out. So anybody who makes it to the quarters, they already have that extra edge because they've already passed that high jeopardy test. So a few things to point in here. Just a few things to point out is the two teams that people say, blah, blah. We can get a Senegal-Morocco final. And we can get a Senegal-Egypt, but we can get a Senegal-Morocco final. Now, I think that would be the most fitting final in terms of the teams that people believe have been able to say what's up. In terms of the teams that people have been able to say what's up, that would be perhaps the most fitting final. But as I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the group winners Cape Verde. I'm looking at the group winners Equatorial Guinea. I'm looking at Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. Because if you just look at Cote d'Ivoire's path, now I don't know where they are with regards to who they want to hire, because I'm hearing if they want to bring Renat, who's now with the French women's team, which I just think is freaking crazy. But there's a path for because if Cote d'Ivoire can shock and beat Senegal based on just how Cote d'Ivoire been doing, most likely I'm thinking Mali, although Mali, Burkina Faso is very even. Then if they can navigate that, then they possibly face an Egypt in the semis. It's possible for these guys, Look, I'll get to the Nigerian guys. So, but you look at Morocco. Look at if you're Senegal, you'd feel confident. You'd feel confident in facing, even if they're a home team, a very bad Ivory Coast side. You'll feel confident in beating either Mali or Burkina Faso. I think Senegal will feel confident in beating an Egypt without Salah. I don't think their Congo will come through. And I think that they'll feel confident in beating either Equatorial Guinea or Guinea. So there is a very, very clear path to the final for Senegal. But again, that's easier said than done. For Morocco, I believe Morocco do beat South Africa. They should, although that could be a lot more close. Because remember, South Africa were the guys who shocked Egypt in Egypt. So you can't sleep on South Africa. And you cannot judge South Africa in that's their final home game, in that final group game, because they were playing for a draw against Tunisia. They were not playing to beat Tunisia, they were playing for a draw. So you're going to face a different South Africa there. But I feel they should feel confident there. Now, quarters is where it gets tricky, because I think Cape Verde could be an issue. I believe Cape Verde do beat Mauritania. They will. Mauritania, I think they scored their first ever AFCON goal. So they should beat them. I think they should easily beat them. Morocco, Cape Verde, that's a close one. But again, if you're Morocco and you're serious, and Unahi steps up, Ziyech steps up, Hakimi steps up, Bono steps up, you should beat Cape Verde, although that's going to be a difficult game, but you should beat them. Then in the semis, that's where it gets quite tricky because it could be Cameroon, it could be Nigeria, it could be an Angola. I doubt it'll be in Namibia. But you know what I think? I think Morocco's potential quarterfinal game could be harder than the semifinal game. Because remember Argentina. Argentina's Netherlands game in the quarterfinals was much harder than the semi-final game against Croatia. So I do think Morocco will find that quarter against most likely Cape Verde harder than I think either Angola, Namibia, Cameroon, or Nigeria. So there's a clear path to a final there. Good old Eagles. The Eagles. The Eagles. Now here's the thing there. I'm taking each game as it comes. Cameroon, that's already... So for me, I almost don't want to do this video, but I know I have to because, it's my job. But I almost don't want to because I don't want to jinx anything. Because I'm not looking beyond Cameroon. I'm not. And I'll be foolish to, because I think if I look beyond Cameroon, I know I'll just jinx Nigeria. So, but let's just view this right now. I think that it's a case of where if you're Nigeria and you're looking at this path, you should make the semis, and then the semis where it goes all up in there. Because if you're Nigeria, if you can beat Cameroon, if you can beat what I believe will be Angola waiting in the quarters, then our belief is in that semis could either be Cape Verde or Morocco. Because I'm not sleeping on Cape Verde or Morocco. And I think that would be a very, that's going to be a very tough one. So, is there a path there? I mean, the path for Nigeria to the final, I think, is going to be hard because I think, first of all, Cameroon is going to be difficult. We know the history of that game. Most likely Angola, I've seen Angola going to be tricky. And remember, these are the guys that went to the 06 World Cup are ahead of us, So, and then look at the semis. It's going to be hard. Whether it be Morocco, Cape Verde, or who knows if South Africa can shock everyone. But I feel waiting in that semi-final will either be Cape Verde or Morocco. But I'm looking at the other side now, and my pick has always been Egypt. And I think my pick to begin with was Egypt. Now without Salah, it's even much more complicated. But I'm adding a Disney Plus narrative tax to why I'm still sticking with Egypt. So we're now look at Egypt now, and I think Egypt beats DR Congo. I think they do beat Egypt. I think they beat DR Congo. Equatorial Guinea have scored the most goals. Now, that is one where I think could go up in the air. If Egypt beats Equatorial Guinea, I think they're going to be in a good role. Now, if it is Egypt against Senegal, that's a tough one without Salah. With Salah, it's still a hard one. Without Salah, that's a tough one. But here's the thing. So this let me give you a bit of football knowledge here. It's been an amazing AFCON so far. It's been superb. I mean, the quality of the matches, and I think they've said everybody has scored. And we only got 0-0s towards the last round of group matches where people were now nervous. And that's where I'm going to go. As we go further into the tournament and there is more at stake, there's not that much at stake when you're playing your first game because you know that, okay, look, we still have 2 games to course correct. There's no course correct now. This is the highest jeopardy. So the higher the jeopardy is, the more that's at stake and the more that you can lose, the smaller the margin of error, the more conservative teams will be. I feel that we are not going to be seeing 4, 5, 6 zeros. We're going to be seeing 1-0s, 1-1s, a few 2-1s, and we're going to see a lot of games go to extra time, and we're going to see a lot of games go to penalties. There are going to be several games going to penalties because I feel as the nerves group, people are like, okay, let's now chill now. So, if it is Egypt, Senegal in semis, I'll be surprised if that goes to penalties. I will not be surprised because I will be first to be like, oh, Senegal will just beat them 3-0. No. I think the nature of that game and the nature of what has now sort of become like a mini rivalry between Egypt and Senegal will go through. But guys, I'm saying this. You see, here's the thing. If it's a semi, okay, what do you see as a semi-final and a final? Now remember, I will be updating this. These are just my thought process to begin with, but let me just say right now, just off the top of my head. Semi-final. I believe the semi-final is probably going to be you know what? I'm going to go crazy. Cape Verde, Angola. I think call me crazy. I think it could be Cape Verde, Angola in one, Ivory Coast, Egypt in the other. And you might see Egypt's Cape Verde final. Like, call me crazy. Because it's already been a mad AFCON. See, my thing is, okay, this is my thing. Okay, blah. If we beat Cameroon, and that's a massive. If we beat Cameroon, I know, guys. I know this Nigerians, because I've been watching these fools since 1990. No, since '93. Bro, the bloody Youth Cup. Since I've been watching these guys since bloody 1993. I know how these guys freaking think. So, if we beat Cameroon, we will underestimate Angola, and Angola will beat us because we underestimate them. We are going to be ready for Cameroon, and that can go either way. But we'll be ready for Cameroon. So there's no way we underestimate Cameroon because we know what they're about. Angola, we'll probably underestimate them, and then they'll beat us. So that's my logic there. Ivory Coast, the manager stepping down, I think, is the best thing that could happen. And look at the way they've come through. I can see the narrative in the manner in which they've come through. So I think like the biggest shock of these knockouts is Ivory Coast beating Senegal. Because let's be real, based on how this AFCON has gone, I don't think anybody's going to put one kobo on Ivory Coast to beat Senegal. No one will. But I feel that if you're a betting person, I'm not, because people lost money. I think smart money is on Cote d'Ivoire to shock Senegal and to beat them. So, but you know what? It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, but don't sleep on Cape Verde and Equatorial. Basically, my eyes are on Cape Verde and Equatorial Guinea. That's what my eyes are on. My eyes are on okay, like they've topped their groups. Because remember, group stage knockouts is very different. So they've topped their groups. What will they now do the knockouts? So look, it's all very exciting, But I'll end with this, and this is something that you should know. If you're a football guy, you should know. Never assume. Never ever assume in football. And all I ask are for my Eagles to not underestimate anybody and treat each game like a damn final. That's all I ask. It's not too much. That's all I ask. Thank you.